Sir, in a big audience. They taped some baby antlers to my head, told me to get down on all fours and jump around. And I didn't jump very good, and the antlers fell off, and I got fired from that, and they hired me for the voice. But I get that question, right, lady, I get that question from children in the cities. And I encourage them to get into a book with good colored animations by geniuses like this guy. And if they get a chance, go to a zoo and see live animals, all of them, and develop some respect for them. Okay? I did not just not shoot animals because of a Bambi. I would not have shot a deer, period. I'd eat grass before I shot a deer. Okay? I punched out a horse once, but I never shot a horse. This is great. And that comes from a respect for life because I have been in a very violent career. And I don't know any more killing of any kind. Anyway. Nice question, ma'am. And I hope around that little digest, I hope I answered a little bit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yep.
You mentioned about how you were introduced to Walt Disney, but what was your impression of him as a 6½-year-old?
Mr. Disney?
Yes.
He was just a guy that everybody respected. And I was very sensitive to this at the time because I'd seen some in other studios. Here's other studios in those days. Okay? All the men, remember looking at the old films, had their hair in place. Hair 6091 was not out of place. You know, all plastered, very cosmetic, and they would do this. I'm a kid now, they're forgetting I'm here, right? Oh, John, it's so good to see you. Wonderful. You did your last role, just wonderful. And 15 feet away, he's not worth a darn. Very hypocritical people. And the studio at Disney was not like that. It was very open. Everybody was working. Mr. Disney came in one time before I lost my antlers and got fired. I'm sitting on a stool. And what I call drawing men, now help me with this one, they had boards, and 5 or 6 of them sitting in a semicircle, and had more pencils than I've seen in my lifetime, of all kinds. And they would say at the very beginning, look up, look left, look afraid. You remember the scene where little Fidine, Bambi didn't do too well, and he's parked in the puddle, in the thicket, very ingraciously, right? And little Feline sticks her head through the thicket and gives him a deer kiss, you know, and he goes. I was asked, sitting on a stool, by these wonderful animators, and my mom was there, and I'm having the time of my life. Donnie, looked like something terrible has happened to you. Oh, wait a minute. I'm having the time of my life. What do you mean something terrible happened to you? So I made a couple faces, you know, no good. Something really bad happened to you. And I'm failing in this, right? Finally, one man said, this is not a quote, pretty close. If you had any medicine or if you had to eat something that was just terrible, you didn't like it at all, a week before, my mother had given me something called castor oil. Castor oil. It's awful stuff, right? And the guy says, and animator says, pretend like you just had a double dose of castor oil and you're going to get some more. Hold it. Right? Now, if you're a kid and you're having a time of your life, it's a little hard to go. So from that point forward, now that they know I'm alive, tell children everywhere, when you see that little kiss in the thicket, that's the castor oil kiss.
Any other questions? Yep.
Mr. Deja, I just want to say, huge fan. Thank you for all the characters you helped create over the years. I have to say, This is the Frog is one of the most beautiful movies ever animated. I think it's incredible. I just wanted to ask, what do you think the future of hand-drawn, feature-length animation is? I'm hopeful, and I just want more, and I can't wait for Winnie the Pooh. I was just curious what your perspective.
We are planning more. There are more in the pipeline. There's one right now that the directors from the Frog are working on right now. They're trying to get the book rights to it, so it's taking a little while. So in the meantime, we're experimenting a little bit as animators, and when they're ready, then we're going to jump on that one. So there will be more, absolutely.
In the red shirt?
For Andreas, what advice would you give a future animator?
Well, I still think that drawing, or the ability to draw well, helps you as a hand-drawn animator, but also as a CG animator, because even in CG animation, like Pixar and so forth, you need to be able to visualize. And even the Pixar guys, before they animate, they do little poses down before they animate. So I would say take some drawing classes for a while and go to the zoo, sketch the animals and really observe them, not just for a week or two, but really on a regular basis, because you learn so much that way. Watch movies and develop a sense of acting, of your own acting. Some animators take acting classes, I never have. But I just watch people all the time. I'm watching you right now. Maybe sometime, there you go. Maybe that's a little take that you do that I can use sometime in the future. So that's basically what animators do all the time. Keep their eyes open and just watch things around them.
Oh, right next to the red shirt.
What traditional animated films do you admire that have had no involvement by this?
Oh, I was just going there over in class at UCLA. I really like an animated film. I think it's only a half hour, done in Canada by Frederick Bach. It's called The Man Who Planted Trees. It is really unlike Hollywood animation, but it has a beautiful message about nature, about trees, you know, and that is one of my all-time favorites. I like some of the Miyazaki films that are done in Japan. I like those very much. I also like a lot of British animation. When Richard Willis had a studio in London in the 70s and early 80s, he was experimenting with commercials and did all these different styles of animation, but did really fantastic things. And so I like those. So I like a variety of styles, you know, that way.
And next to the black shirt. Everybody's like, receiving live questions.
Is there any chance we'd be giving away your special Bambi?
That's not for me to decide. I was just hired here to come up do a little magic trick. But we will be at least signing a few things outside afterwards.
Can we do a question or first give it away? I think one more good trivia question for the Bambi. For the sketch. What? All right, no.
It's not about money. It's not about money.
Can we do a trivia question? Okay, all right.
I'll think of a trivia question while the next question is asked up there. Yes.
First of all, Mr. Dunagan, thank you for your 25 years of service in the military. And secondly, were you recording in a sound studio? Did they have those back then for somebody as young as you, or where did you do the actual audio recording?
The sound booths. Open in the sound booths. Very nice lady that finally got open in the sound booths. We're a very nice lady, coached us finally on the storyline, and we asked to say certain things. Contributing to your very good question are questions like, did they tell you to speak a different way than you normally do? For some reason, a whole lot of folks think we were coached that way. We weren't. We were told to say this or say that in our natural voice. And in the early scenes, if you tune your ears up younger than mine, you probably detected a little southern accent. Huh? This is a Mason Dixon line, dear, right? And they did not tell us to do otherwise. It was wonderful, very open. I was having a great time, a lot of free time, and I probably went some places I wasn't supposed to go. Or do that. I'll give you a little quick aside on that for some fun when you watch this and another thing. I hope Disney doesn't get mad at me. How many have seen Son of Frankenstein? Remember the scene early in the film where in the big hall, this is on your vocabulary, in the big hall, I'm introduced the very first time. I have a lot of lines in Son of Frankenstein. I'm 4.5 years old. Roland Dickey's the director, big hall, remember, Transylvania. Huh? The microphones in those days are in cages, dynamic microphones, old-fashioned dynamics, way to sun, in cages, way up high. I'm a little run kid. Roland Lee, master director, said, on one of my early lines, Donnie, speak up. He need not have said that. Here's my very first line in a magnificent Son of Frankenstein movie, vocabulary and accent, in the midst of all those great live stage actors and actresses. Remember? Basil Rathbone, son of the King of England. Huh? And here I come. Donnie said, speak up. My first line is, well, hello! Sounded like an Alabama sheriff. I right out of Mistress a couple months ago. It was worse than that, a rehearsal. Donnie, speak up now. Mike, way up there. Yes, sir. Well, hello, you all. I almost did a couple of those things in Disney. And I didn't understand cutting and editing in those days. I was having a good time, and whatever was left, they wanted. I'm sure I have some stuff on the cutting room floor.
All right, well, that's it for questions right now, but